What's going on out there? It's December 23rd. I'm Frank Curzio. It's the Wall Street Unplugged podcast where I break down headlines and tell you what's really moving these markets. Head into the holidays. Chaos. Buying presents. Nuts. However, having this nice Q&A this week for you guys. Glad you're taking advantage of it. Sending your questions. Let's get to them right now. First one's from Dove. He says, hey, Frank, love the interview with Solomon from T0. The only problem was he's so smart, I couldn't understand anything he said. Laugh out loud. I understand that. You will understand everything. It's for you, what you need to understand is buying our token. You're getting an equity stake in the Curzio Equity Owners, our company, Curzio Research. It's called Curzio Equity Owners. It's going to be trading under the symbol CURZ, which is coming out pretty much the first week in February or last week in January. That's going to be the best time, as I explained last podcast. We wanted to try to do it earlier, but, we want this to be a big event. I'm going to be traveling a lot, although we don't know if the Consumer Electronics Show, if I'm definitely going, because as I'm doing this, I just heard that Facebook and Amazon have pulled out because of COVID concerns. Again, these are California companies that are worried, even though Omicron doesn't bother anyone at all if you're vaccinated. But in California, they hear different things over there, and I understand that, which is fine. But yeah. We'll see if they cancel the CES. Hopefully they don't, but I'm going to be there the whole first week and then traveling and stuff like that, so the token is going to be out. And that's really what you need to know. There's a lot of technology behind it. That's my job to understand that, which technologies work. If you want to go ERC20 platform or a token or other just structures which are faster and better, even though Ethereum is the standard right now and you have to pay gas fees and stuff. But stuff like that, you don't really have to worry about. Just know that, sign up on T0, you're going to be able to buy this token. And Solomon's a fantastic guy. I've known him for a while. He's unbelievable. He's really, really great. He's helped us tremendously along this process, and just, really, really good guy. So your question, you mentioned that you're bullish on oil. What's a good way for retail investors to invest in physical oil instead of producers? There's a few ways. I mean, you have some ETFs, USO is designed to track the performance of WTI, and that's the futures spot month contract. Spot is the current price, but the spot month contract, while USL is designed to track price movements of the rolling average of the NYMEX WTI futures 12-month forward contracts. So those are two ways. You could basically do a little research on them, see which one is better. Both of them are okay. You could go UCO, which is another ETF. I think oil may have the most ETFs in terms of a sector, including leverage ETFs like UCO is at 2 times daily performance, which could be dangerous if it moves the wrong way for you. So I am bullish on oil. Just EVs coming out is huge, and the fact that you have publicly traded companies that, and this is a disadvantage of going public because when you're not public. Like Chick-fil-A, and you have communities saying, well, we don't like that you do this and you do that. You can give them the finger and say, well, don't go to our store and don't go to our restaurants, and everything's okay. But when you're Exxon and you have 3 of the biggest funds controlling whatever, 10, 12, 15% stake in the company, or even more than that, because they have everyone else's money, and you have these trillion-dollar operations now, right? If you go to just look at Vanguard, you look at all of them, right? BlackRock, Fidelity, these are trillion-dollar operations, right? So they're investing. They're the largest shareholders. And when you get someone that just shouts climate change and you got to stop drilling, and they stop drilling even though we don't have the alternatives to replace it, which I think is hilarious, simply for political purposes, it's crazy. Do I believe in climate change? Yes. Should we be focusing on it? Yes. But you don't cut oil right now when we're energy independent, which basically almost every war started because of oil. And now we're energy independent. Now we're not going to be energy independent, making, places like Russia much, much stronger, China much, much stronger. We're going to be dependent on foreign nations who, the rest of the world accounts for, 89% of global emissions. If they decide not to do anything, it doesn't matter what we do in the climate change front. But again, a lot of this is political, and maybe we should wait till we have the alternatives in place before we say that they're going to stop drilling areas. But yeah, it's going to result in higher prices. It's going to result in high prices. Who cares if we get into more wars? Who cares if it weakens our country? Again, just shout from the top of the roof, climate change, we're going to die tomorrow, just like, Al Gore said, and he's buying houses on the California waterfront that he thought would be underwater by now. Again, a lot of this is politics, a lot of this is bullshit, which sucks because this is something that's serious, but it's hard to take it serious when you have assholes that just, make it extremely, extremely political. Like, it's got to be extreme. You're going to die, we're all going to be underwater, the whole earth is going to end in 10 years if we don't do something, to the other extreme where there's nothing wrong and we shouldn't do anything and just destroy. There's such a massive middle ground there, which would be nice. Anyway, not to go on a little bit of a rant there, but I think oil prices are going to go higher going forward. They have no place else to go. I think you'll see well over $100 a barrel next year, if not at least over the next 18 months. And those are ways to play it. Or, like you mentioned, you said you want to play physical oil instead of producers. But, when oil is going up and the price of a commodity goes up, the, stocks and equities are the best investments. So if you really believe that, or, if I believe that, I want to own stocks. I don't want, it's like uranium prices, right? You don't want to own, physical uranium when, where did it go from 30 to 40? Okay, good move. But we saw, 200, 300, 400% gains in some of these stocks, right? On the flip side, maybe, on a downside, you're going to be protected, right? So, that's the good news. If you're wrong on it, you're not going to get hurt as much unless you're buying like the leverage products like the UCOs and stuff like that. But you really want to own stocks if you really believe that oil prices are going higher. Well, that's where you maximize your potential. And you can even own the Exxons and Chevrons, which will probably go up higher, going forward than I don't know if they've really tracked oil going up. I know a lot of the smaller names are up tremendously, and that's what happens, right? When you see a sector move higher, the shit rises the most, and just like when it comes down, you're going to see the crappy ones get killed the most, and the Exxons and the Chevrons stay up. So Exxon, Chevron, with their dividends, nice way to play it. There's tons of ETFs in this industry. They're going to track the drillers, the producers. There's natural gas, if you want natural gas, which there's massive crisis. You got to see what prices are. Holy cow, what prices are in the UK. Which are incredible. And I'm going to have a nice small cap pick for that, and probably in CVO in the coming months, which we're doing a lot of research on, which is really, really incredible. But holy cow, natural gas prices there are insane. But yeah, you could buy either ExxonMobil, Chevron, if you think it's going higher. The ETFs with the drillers, producers, they'll probably outperform. Or, just something conservative if you want to go with USO or USL. So hopefully that helps. Else, my best friends, Danish International, emails me all the time. His dear Frank, here's your Danish fan. Do you think this is true? Bitcoin supply will fall and demand rises equal higher price because of, and he says, number one, supply fall. Because the miners keep more Bitcoin for themselves. Normally, miners have to sell a big part of their Bitcoin because they have to cover their production costs. But now more banks are willing to lend miners money with security in Bitcoin, so miners do that more and more. True on the bank front. Right, that's true. The cost to recover, it's very easy if you're a miner and you're mining for Bitcoin right now. I think it was like 6,000. It might be like more like 9,000, 10,000, depending on how much electricity prices are. But you're going to make money, and a lot of money, even if it's 15,000. You're going to make a lot of money by mining for Bitcoin. Again, it gets harder and harder, and that the equation to solve gets more difficult, and it's not going to give you as much Bitcoin going forward. But one thing that you're wrong is supply is not falling; it's staying the same. So supply is not falling; it's staying the same there. And then you say number two, demand rises. So you have Visa and others now, credit cards where you get Bitcoin back instead of cash. Hotel, fly, stuff like that. So people that never own Bitcoin are starting to own it that way. So if only 1% of all credit cards will be Bitcoin rewards, our demand's going to rise heavily. Because finally, after 22 months, I'm allowed to go to my winter home in Florida. Hope I get there before another travel ban is coming because the virus is wild here in Denmark. Stay safe. So, first of all, we'll go to the Bitcoin part where supply's not falling, supply's going to stay the same, which is great, right? Because if you look at fiat, you have unlimited supply. You just keep printing and printing and printing and diluting. That's why I like Bitcoin as a store of value, and even much better than gold. Gold is just, boring asset that really nobody wants to pay attention to, but they're going to pay attention to it next year. And then demand is rising. Institutions have been late to get in. It's incredible. So I see this demand continuing. That's why I knew it was going to come down. We went up tremendously. We're still up tremendously on the year for Bitcoin, but you're going to see this thing go incredibly higher. And, this is a massive market. Institutions are getting in. You're seeing them reward more and more people with Bitcoin. Still, I don't know if I use the word infancy. I use that a lot, but I'd say second inning, maybe of the amount of people that are going to own Bitcoin over the next 5 years. Holy cow! So, and that's a way to do it, and that's exciting. Why are you going to put your money in cash? Interest rates, yes, they're going a little bit higher, but still, you own nothing. You own nothing. Leaving it in the bank or whatever. People are like, all right, I want it in Bitcoin instead. I don't care about the fluctuations, but I'm just going to put in there, and I think it's going to go higher because I'm going to hold it like a lot of people are going to do, and there's a limited supply and there's usage. This is a currency now. You can use it for thousands, if not tens of thousands of things. You can go into most major hotels now, and you'll see it, Bitcoin ATM. It's a currency. Yeah, you can't use Bitcoin to go into every single store, buy a loaf of bread, but you can go into Starbucks, you can go to a lot of places. Use it through your payment services. You can use it through Square. I mean, like Visa. I mean, these guys know, they understand that, those transaction fees that they generate using Bitcoin, you don't generate. So, hey, let's get on board this train. This way we're collecting fees on the tens of trillions of dollars in sales that we achieve every single year, right? That they get a small percentage of through processing. So, that's where you're seeing DeFi. That's where you're seeing so much disruption in crypto. It's disrupting these industries because when it comes to finance, they're the middlemen. They make a ton of money being a middleman, and almost every business has been disrupted through the internet, especially if you're a middleman. They provide better service that are cheaper, and that's what Bitcoin is. That's what crypto is. That's what DeFi is. Security tokens is when it comes to investment banking, it's much, much cheaper, less regulation, allows a company like me to raise money and go public and fund my company, which I would have never been able to do without a security token, unless I did a traditional private placement, which you'd have to wait till I go public, which most small companies will never get to that point. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe we would, maybe we won't. But I covered small caps all my life, and most don't. So, it's DAO as well, and you're looking at the metaverse. I mean, these are amazing trends, but very, very disruptive. And I think Bitcoin's going a lot higher. I don't know. Again, I don't know what's going to be in 6 months and go down to 30,000, go to 25,000. I just know, like, over the next 3 years, you're going to see, 6 digits on it, over 100,000, and it's probably going to go higher and higher from there because the institutions are late to get in, and they're starting to get in a lot more, and there's going to be a lot more people that are going to own Bitcoin going forward. And all the major trends, the innovation. I'm not talking about major trends like cloud and 5G, the innovation when it comes to the metaverse, DAO, DeFi, again, security tokens, NFTs, the innovation is all coming from crypto. It's coming from the younger generation that understands digital, that provides digital ownership to your content, which is NFTs. I think people don't really understand that. They're looking at, you're buying some stupid little thing. Yes, it's stupid, and people are going to try to take advantage of it. But NFT is going to extend far beyond just artwork and collectibles, different financial products and tickets to movies and everything. It's a proof of ownership on a ledger that you get the chance to own your own content. That's super exciting, right? Everything's owned. Everything you do, you think you own it. You have all these videos. You have a massive following on YouTube. In 1 second, they could shut you off and you're gone. They keep it all. We saw that with conservative websites who, everyone was against Trump. Didn't matter if you reported the truth. Didn't matter if you had like a regular opinion, right? Freedom of speech. You don't have freedom of speech on these platforms. We know that now. They'll ban you for anything if you're on the wrong side or whatever, whether you're a Trump fan or not. There's a lot of people I hate out there, but I would never say, well, ban them and shut them down. Then you don't believe in our Constitution. But yet they control these platforms. They shut down what they want. Now you have record of ownership. That's huge. That's a massive concept for anyone, a young kid with artwork. You can sell it to the public. Go to the metaverse and sell it different places, sell different items through there. I mean, it's exciting times. That's the innovation. That's the world-changing event that's going to happen over the next 10, 15, 20 years. It may happen even sooner, especially when you have, Facebook and a lot of these big companies. Even Apple's going to be getting into it really big. You can see announcements over the next 6 months in metaverse, augmented reality, all this stuff, new worlds created. That's what you're going to see. All these guys, and they have trillions, $1 trillion market caps. Man, $3 trillion market cap, pretty close for Apple and Microsoft now. But these companies are going to go all in this. They have the money, and you're going to see this trend accelerate. So the last part of that is your travel ban. I'm sorry about that. I know it's going crazy in Denmark and the UK. Just know if you're looking at statistics, Omicron is spreading like wildfire everywhere, which, is a nice headline. But bottom line is, 99% of these people are okay. And I would say more than 90% barely know that they have it. I've heard that from more than 20 people. I haven't actually seen anyone that has that had the shots, either has 2 shots or had the booster and now I have Omicron because, again, that was supposed to prevent you from getting COVID, and it doesn't, right? Which we all know now. Again, it's funny when you think of, not funny, but, being sarcastic, but it's crazy when you think about that. Force this jab, and you got to take it. I took the vaccine. I took the vaccine only to go to this freaking conference, which I have to wear a mask as well, and now they're probably going to end up canceling at CES. I'm going to be really freaking pissed. I just want to know how long my antibodies last because there's not a doctor in the world that could tell you. They don't know that, but I'd like to know that before I jab myself when I might not have to, since I have the antibodies. Right? A lot of people with antibodies are not getting Delta. The people who are getting Delta are the people who are vaccinated and have got COVID before. Look at the statistics. You're not going to see a lot of statistics in the U.S. because they hide all that shit from us. But if you're looking at Israel, look at different studies, I get from doctors all the time, real studies, you're going to see that data. I don't know why we don't want to publish this data. Why don't we want to get it right? Why do we have to wear masks? We're in Florida. We really stopped wearing masks here, and we have the lowest rate of infection. when it comes to COVID. Why aren't we investigating that? Maybe we don't have to wear masks anymore. Why? It's okay to question that. That's a data point. Maybe I'm wrong on it, but it's a data point we should... Nope, you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to question it. Why is that? Why is that? At this stage, why is that? And you could tell with people going everywhere and having fun, enjoying themselves, and not worried about Omicron because they see people that have it. They know they're going to be okay. They know if they're, this, especially when it comes to COVID, it's one group that you have to really worry about, especially you're over 60 and you have underlying conditions. That's the people who need to be worried. And if you're younger than that, you don't have to be worried, especially if you're under 18. I broke down those statistics as well. So it's sad, it's crazy, but I'd get to Florida as fast as you can. Everyone I know that's gone to Florida said, holy shit, it's like going to a brand new world. And while the whole entire world will report and say how irresponsible and DeSantis is killing people is all horse shit, you want to sit there with your mask and all the bullshit and listen to all the media who has an agenda, go ahead and do it. That's your right, and that's fine. I'm just saying, listen, I'm here to help you guys out. I don't give a shit who's president. I don't care. All I want to do is, again, report accurate information to you guys, what I'm hearing from my sources, living in Florida and seeing this, because I went to Baltimore a couple weeks ago. All right, I went there twice in the past month. And the first time I went there, I was a little nervous going there because I'm reading stories showing how, there's massive violence and people are dying. I stayed right in the heart. And I have to tell you, I had a great experience. I forgot to wear my mask in a hotel. Nobody yelled at me. As soon as I went outside, guy rode his bike. He's like, hey, good morning. I was like, hey, good morning. Another person's like, hello. I'm on the impression I'm going to get freaking shot because of what you read, which is bullshit. And that's sad. That's really freaking sad, right? So, hopefully you get to Florida because when you do, you're probably going to stay here for a while because it's just, it's free. It's open. We're not being irresponsible. If Omicron was killing people, we would wear masks to see, if that helped or, it's we're not doing something just to say, hey, F you, we're not doing it. It's looking at the data. That's all we do. We're looking at the data and it's funny how, when you read stories around and just saying, DeSantis is killing, they're going to attack DeSantis because, Democrats need Florida as much as they can. They say it's a swing state. I don't think it's going to be a swing state anymore. I think that's going to be locked up for Republican for a very, very long time. But, they want to discredit them and discredit us here. And it's sad. I live here and I see it. And again, if you're over 60, get it. I'm not anti-vax. Get it. Get the vaccine. You should. If you're not in good shape, you have underlying conditions. We know who it impacts. And again, I still think you're absolutely insane unless your kid has underlying conditions. If they're over 16, 17, I think you're crazy. I think you're absolutely crazy to get. That's just based on the data, based on, a 0.01% fatality rate for kids under 17 years old that got COVID. That's insane that they are forcing this on kids. And they're forcing it because I could tell you something about Pfizer. I could tell you something about Moderna. These I'll say it, fuckers. These guys would never even think of producing this to the public because they'll never make money on it based on those statistics. The only reason why they're doing it is because the government's paying for it. That's why they're forcing this through for children. Okay, I've seen it. I have children. I have kids in school. I've seen their friends get it. I've seen their kids get it, and it has not spread in almost any school that you could think of. That's middle school below. None of them. You see kids get it, and it's not like the whole entire school gets it and everyone has to stay home. It's a kid and maybe two kids, and that's it. It's not this wild spreading event. It's not like that. So, when I see that for my kids, no, I'm going to avoid as much as I can. And my daughter has Crohn's, and I don't want it. I'm not going to tell her to get it. I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think she needs it. It's not that I'm super scared of it or it's going to do anything to her, but why even take that risk when you don't have to? When I'd rather she probably does get it, and she got COVID already and was perfectly fine, both my daughters, and you build up your immune system, which is, natural and what you should be doing. So for me, again, just the facts and everything, I'm sorry to hear that. Again, in different countries, it's really crazy, but they're going on lockdown. I can't believe, I'm pissed off that I just heard that Amazon and Facebook are not going to be at the Consumer Electronics Show. Are you kidding me? We have to show proof of vaccination. And we have to wear fucking masks, and you're still going to cancel this freaking thing? I mean, I got jabbed because of this. And now you're going to cancel this thing? Why? Because they don't work, the shots. They don't work. They were supposed to prevent COVID. Masks supposed to prevent COVID. We know it doesn't. We know both don't work, right? Yes, those vaccines are going to help you out if you do get COVID and, reduce those effects where it's not going to be that bad. But that wasn't being told to us, right? That wasn't being told to us. We were told that a 94% or higher effectiveness where you don't have to worry about getting COVID, which is all BS. And now we know. And just simply by canceling this show where you have to show a card and you have to wear a mask, which is going to be hard for me to do interviews and everything, and going there, and you're still canceling? Holy shit. And you're going to tell me that these vaccines work? That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to anyone. There's no common sense. Okay, you want to debate that? Debate it with whoever you want. But, again, just throw facts at me, because I see people try to debate me, and people who are on the other side, mostly leftists, that are just like, oh, you don't understand. And they provide all bullshit to me. Send me statistics. Send me the facts, and I'll debate you. That's fine. And I'm open to anything. Again, my job is to make sure that, people know the facts. I've been covering this longer than most people, believe me, through February 2020, when nobody's really covering this, when no one said, oh, it's not going to hit the U.S., and I was interviewing people on lockdown in China live on our podcast. You could see that on a YouTube channel. You locked down Italy, China, and saying, holy shit, guys, watch out. And seeing the statistics that were coming out and the stuff that I'm seeing from doctors compared to the stuff that's saying on TV just made me dig. And holy shit, what a different story. How do you politicize something that's killing people? How do you politicize that? Isn't it the goal to make everybody safe, right? Our families, this is what we do everything for. Why can't we get the facts? Why can't you give us the real facts? Why can't you give us the real data? I mean, come on, guys, give me a fucking break. This is getting crazy. Anyway, a little rant before Christmas. There you go. Let's get to one last question. Here's from Charles. He goes, how did you like Bob Iger's interview on CNBC as he stepped down from the chairman role at Disney? I thought he was telling the truth. He stepped down at the right time because he found himself disagreeing with a lot of decisions being made. And he said, maybe I just got to, hand over control to the innovators. He's like, I just would do different things during, different times and COVID and how they cut costs and stuff like that. But, they went balls to the wall, bought Fox's entertainment assets. And look, they bought Pixar. They bought Marvel. I mean, I think it was... Somebody told me how much in another division for like $15 billion total, which is probably what they generated just from Avengers over the last 3-4 years. Franchise, including merchandise sales, which is incredible. But then they went nuts and they purchased Fox's entertainment assets because they wanted to get into streaming. They wanted to get into streaming at the exact wrong time because they took on a massive amount of debt. They made that massive, what is it, $100 billion, whatever, $90 billion, whatever it is, for Fox entertainment assets right before COVID. Then everything got shut off because Disney's more impacted by COVID than anyone. Especially international travel, which is being halted right now because it's crazy to travel international. Because you're not even going to know if you have Omicron. You got to take a freaking test. You're going to be like, I'm okay. And then you take it, you're like, wow, well, it says you're infected. Okay, now you got to stay there for 2 weeks. You know how much that cost? In Disney? I mean, it's going to cost you like $10,000 for a family of 4 internationally to go there. What are you going to do? Spend another $15,000 on top of that because you're stuck for 2 weeks? And who knows? Who knows the policies? I don't even know the policies. Where are they going to put you if you test positive? They're going to say stay in your hotel, maybe over here. They're not going to say that in other countries if you travel internationally. But now you get into streaming, and now it's all of a sudden, let's give streaming away absolutely for free. And now you realize, wow, streaming is a really, really tough business, which I explained yesterday, and it's crushing you. So they really have no direction. It's like, we need to go direct to consumer, but do you? Because I can tell you, Disney made a big mistake here. They could have licensed out all their content to all these freaking platforms that are getting into streaming that are dying for content. You could have licensed out for premium prices, sat there and collect royalties, and made a fortune. And just focus on the parks, focus on movies. Instead, you went all in on this streaming platform, which is killing you as your competitors spend $30 billion each, AT&T for HBO, and Netflix, when you can't even compete. You have more net debt in your balance sheet than you ever had in the history of the company. No direction. You're one of the only companies, major companies, in the S&P 500. I mean, you won't find many whose earnings have not gotten back to pre-COVID levels, and they're not going to get back there for another 2 years. That's how much money they're burning through right now. And now they have no pricing power on their streaming business, which they said we're going all in on. Iger, good job stepping down right now. That's good. I mean, he stepped down at the perfect time, just like, who's the GE CEO? Not ML, but who was it before him, right? The legend stepped down perfectly. ML took over, and then that was it. Acquisitions, craziness, went nuts. And it was horrible, right? So, Jack Welch. So, it's good timing for him. I think it's great timing for him because Disney has no direction right now. The international sales are going to struggle. They're going to continue to miss earnings estimates going forward. They have no pricing power on their on their streaming services because they're giving away for free. One of the few companies that don't have pricing power. And, it's just, you got to take Hulu. Hulu's a good example. Hulu, they basically own now, and that's still, they're generating over $4 billion in revenue and have over 40 million customers, and they're losing $500 million a year. Think about that for a minute. That's how tough streaming is. And they don't have that money to lose. So, and you have more competitors entering the market. Disney needs to go back to what they're great at. They're a marketing, probably the greatest marketing company on the planet, by far. Creative, Marvel, huge. You could continue. I mean, you could have the Avengers 28 and people are still going to see it, and you're going to generate $1 billion. People going back to the movies now, which should be pretty good for them. I don't know if you see the traffic to Broadway, which is an older crowd. I don't know if you'll see that too much, but people are going back to the movies. They're starting to go back to the movies. Look at the numbers for Spider-Man. Third highest grossing weekend of all time behind the two Avengers movies. But go back to what you're great at doing, marketing, storytelling. I mean, because this streaming shit is very, very hard. There's only one company that really got it right. Hulu hasn't even gotten it right, but Netflix has gotten it right. But they spent an absolute fortune and took out massive amount of debt and was cash flow negative for, over a decade to get to where they are now. And now they're in a great place. But it was very difficult to get there. And Disney's learning the hard way. Because they structured their business around something that was a temporary event, which is COVID, where everything was shut down, locked down, more people in their homes, and it made sense. But even at today's levels, trading at over 40 times earnings at $150, when you're not seeing growth at all, you're seeing just growth slow right now? Holy cow. You want to pay that premium? Fine. There's companies that deserve a 50, 60, 70 PE because they're growing. They're still growing. If they're not seeing huge top-line sales, they're seeing it on the bottom line as well. 15, 20, 30% growth. That's fine. As long as you're growing, that's fine. That's okay. Tesla, more, just production, more and more cars being released. You see the growth, right? You constantly see the growth. When the growth slows, you get Peloton, you get DocuSign, and goodbye. You haven't seen that goodbye. I mean, it's down 25% from its highs, but the stock went from 85 to like 175, 150, basically because of streaming, and that's a business model that's not going to work for Disney. When you can't put your best content on streaming and launch your best content on streaming, which is Avengers, you have to come out in the movies with that stuff. That's a major problem. That Netflix doesn't have that problem. Ozark's coming out. What is that? The Cobra Kai coming out. Like people, and you binge watch this stuff. I mean, they got it right. People love it, and they're talking about it all the time. And Squid Game and stuff. It's not easy. Netflix has figured it out, but Iger has done wonders for that company. It is still one of the greatest companies in the world. I don't know if the stock's going to come down a lot further from here. It's down 25% already. Some of it might be factored in, but Disney has to come up with a plan. I think go back to your original roots. These guys are great, the greatest marketers in the world, the greatest at storytelling, greatest creators. Go back to that, because now you just went to a money-losing business that's going to suck so much capital. It's going to suck just the culture. I mean, you're going to see the culture, which I've gotten emails from people within Disney who have left that told me that things are different now. It's freaking not fun there anymore. And that sucks. Disney should be the greatest, funnest company to work for. I mean, I love the company. I take my kids there. It's awesome. But it's sad what I see and, the bullshit that they're telling everybody. Because you looked at that numbers, they couldn't fudge those numbers last quarter. And holy cow, are they bad. And everybody still, every freaking analyst, because they have so much debt, they know they're going to have to raise money, were like defending them. This is going to be great. It's not a 2022 story. It's a 2023 story. Really? AT&T is a 2022 story. It wasn't a 2021 story. And look how much that fell. And that's going to be, I think, one of the best picks, large cap picks, I think, going forward. They're perfect position. Price is right. Split into two different companies. They got streaming right. HBO Max produced amazing content right now. And people are watching like crazy. Massive free cash flow that they generate, which Disney does not. Disney does not have that free cash flow that Comcast has. Constant payments, monthly payments. They're trying to get that through streaming, and they're not. And when your average revenue per user is $4, a little over $4 compared to wherever it is, what is it, $14, $15 for Netflix and a lot higher place else, people are not paying for that content. And they're trying to get all those free subscribers over to paid, and it's not working. So you could have 500 million subscribers to your platform, but if nobody's paying for it, hey, you better find a way to monetize those names. Disney hasn't yet. Maybe they figure it out, but it's not going to be through streaming. And hopefully they're willing to change, willing to look themselves in the mirror and say, okay, we fucked up. let's change our business model and let's go back to what we used to be the best in the world at doing, and being creative and storytelling. That's what they need to do, because they're going to continue with this streaming thing. Disney's, it's going to be a disaster for them. And I hope they don't, because I have nothing against the company personally. I'm talking about the stock price. It's incredibly. You're paying 40 times plus for a company whose earnings are barely growing, which is insane. You don't deserve that, especially in this market, raising rates, cost of debt's going to go higher, more leverage coming out of the market. I would just be careful. I don't see the catalyst at all for Disney unless they come out and say, hey, we messed up and this is what we're going to do to fix it. And that's what you need. So, congratulations to Iger. He does a great job. I think the timing couldn't be more perfect for him to step down, because I don't know what Disney's business model is right now. Because if it's streaming, they're dead. That stock's going to go down to 100 if they maintain and keep going all in on streaming. They can't. They don't know how to do it. It's evident now. People aren't paying for that platform. The best content can't be put on that site, which is insane to me. So, and you're still going to see, a lot that they generate off of internationally and all of the money that come in. And again, you go to Disney Park in Florida or California, half the people there speaking different languages. I mean, massive international presence, and you're not going to see that because, companies are kind of shutting down, locked down, and that's going to be like that for the next few years. So Disney's going to have some trouble, but, if they're smart, they figure it out. Hopefully they do. They got some smart people over there, but I don't know. I mean, sometimes stubbornness is a incredible weakness. And you got to be humble sometimes and say, hey, I messed up. And I've seen that numerous times. I've always be like that. If there's better ideas, I'm open to it. I'm open to change. I'm open to innovation in a second. I'm open to innovation, no matter what. If I think this something's going to be great for our shareholders and our business, I'll change in 1 second. And you always have to be willing to do that. Disney has to change its business model because streaming's not working. And I think Bob Iger actually knows that. So, He stepped down from the CEO position and was chairman. Now he stepped down from the chairman. Very, very good timing. And I'm sure he's going to sell a lot more stock because Disney insiders have been selling their stock here, even though they're telling you how great they think business is going to be over the next couple of years. So interesting. All right, guys. Now, before I go, real quick, no podcasts next week. If you are a subscriber to any of our paid products, you are going to get our Frankly Speaking podcast, right? Which is exclusive. It's just for our paid. Anyone who owns a paid product, Curzio Research. So that gets sent to you. It's not on iTunes. So, but today's podcast will be the last until the new year. But I'm getting tons of questions. If I have any holiday deals, and they want to buy a product and for a third party or a family member. I've gotten a lot of emails on that. And yes, we're selling Money Flow Trader, and you have that option, which is cool. One of our best deals, 40% off in a year for free. But here's what I'm going to do for you as a way of giving back. On our website, there's going to be a banner on there. Every one of our front-end products, every single one of them, I'm offering a 60% discount, which means you're going to get every single one of them for under $100. So that's our front-end products, the low-price products. That's Curzio Research Advisory, Unlimited Income, Dollar Stock Club, Big Money Report. Yeah, you can get all those. I mean, Dollar Stock Club's a lot cheaper than that, but all of them for under $100. And all of our back-end products, I'm going to offer a 50% discount, every single one of them. So Curzio Venture Opportunities, Crypto Intelligence, Money Flow Trader, and Big Money Trader. All those are 50% discounts. Of course, take advantage of the Money Flow Trader because you're going to get a year for free and a 40% discount. So that's a special offer just for Money Flow Trader that we're offering now because I really want people to be in that newsletter because I think it's going to protect you. I think you're going to thank me for it 1,000,000 times over. And Ginny is already starting to kill it because of the volatility in the market. It's just going to be a perfect market for that newsletter next year and over the next 18 months if the Feds raise rates. And as more variants hit the market, inflation, we don't know where it's going to go. A lot of uncertainty next year. It's a different market. Definitely a different market. I think she's going to kill it next year, and she's starting already, which is cool. So 50% off of all of our back-end products, every single one of them. Just click that link, whatever product you want. There it is. We're going to do that to the 31st just for you guys. This way, if you want something for Christmas, you could do it, or send it a gift to somebody. That's awesome. Any questions or comments, feel free to email frank@curzioresearch.com. But 31st, everything goes back to normal. Only available to you guys, Curzio Research members. We're not doing that outside of our list. They need to pay full price. I do that for our best customers, and that's you. That's you guys. So I appreciate all the support. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Again, we're going to be off next week. So I just want to say, thank you for all the support. It was a wonderful year. It was awesome. I love the challenges. I love the grind, man. I really do love the grind and how hard everyone's responded and So I'm giving everybody off for the week and stuff, and because they deserve it. I know you see my face on here, my name, on the wall behind me and stuff like that. But without my team, I'm nothing. Okay, you need your team. You need a very, very good team that you trust, and that's not easy when you start your business. Start trusting people to take stuff off your plate. This way, you could do what you're good at doing. Whether it's innovating, being creative, being out there. I like traveling and finding new ideas and stuff like that. And I can't do that unless I have a team I trust. And they've been fantastic this year. And I'm really looking forward to going into next year because there's lots and lots of fun things. Lots of exciting things in the pipeline. I think you guys are going to be really happy, especially with the launch of our token, which not the launch of it, it was launched, but this is going to be really our official launch in the US where anyone could trade that on a T0 platform, which is coming out in the new year. So early Q1, because we're going to have a nice marketing campaign behind it and really let everyone know, because that's a very, very cool event for us. So it's something we're excited about. So questions, comments, I'm here for you. FrankRizzleResearch.com. Happy holidays. Enjoy it with your family, and I'll see you in the new year. Take care.